Good morning. You're listening to a new edition of DIY World Improvement. I'm your host, Catherine Carlozzi. Today's guest takes me back to the origins of this show. My reason for wanting to be involved with WBCR was to spend more time on the Bloomfield College campus with the communication students I informally mentor here. I'm a longtime board member of the New York Women in Communications Foundation, and mentoring is one of our core activities. Many of the students involved with this station, including my studio engineer, Perla Peralta, are members of New York Wiki. Scholarships are another of our core activities. Once I decided to do the show, the inspiration for focusing on DIY World Improvers came from some of the Foundation's scholarship recipients. As a group, they're very outwardly focused and involved in their communities. But some go even farther, founding nonprofit organizations while they're still in high school or college. Two of those, Tammy Tibbetts, founder of She's the First, and Elizabeth Stoltz, founder of Food for Thought, were my guests on this show in the first season. Today, I add a third, Emily-Anne Rigal, who has just been awarded one of this year's scholarships. Like so many kids, Emily-Anne was a victim of bullying. Such youthful cruelty is nothing new, but the advent of social media has given it a new venue and a new impact. High-profile cases that ended in suicide have raised alarms all the way to the White House, which held its first conference on bullying prevention in 2011. Enough new books on the subject are written each year to fill a community's worth of school libraries. When she reached 16, Emily-Anne decided to use her not inconsiderable social media skills to combat bullying. To that end, she started something called We Stop Hate. As so many things do on the internet, it went viral, taking Emily-Anne on quite a ride along the way. She's now a freshman at Barnard College at Columbia University in New York City. I caught up with her during spring break. Welcome to DIY World Improvement.
Thank you so much.
Tell me what it was about your personal experience that led you to create We Stop Hate.
Well, I was bullied in elementary school to the point where I was forced to switch schools because I was basically ostracized by my classmates and no one wanted to be my friend. I was overweight significantly when I was younger and I got made fun of for my weight. And so as a result, I thought, it would be better, and my parents thought so too, if I were to go to a school where people didn't have preconceived notions about who I was. So I switched schools, and throughout middle school and high school, my self-confidence gradually increased as I made friends and I really honed in my sense of self-worth, which I had really lost when I was being bullied.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I was 16, I was a really active member of the YouTube community, and I thought it would be fun to not only make the comedy videos that my friends and I were making, but also create a channel where we could spread a positive message. And because I was bullied, anti-bullying was a cause that was really dear to my heart, and I also was really passionate about spreading self-esteem because that's something that, once I had good self-esteem, my whole world changed. So as a result, We Stop Hate was created because we raised self-esteem as a way to combat bullying, believing that if you're happy with yourself, you're a lot less likely to put others down.
And is that one of the things that makes We Stop Hate different from other anti-bullying efforts? Because there are a lot of other anti-bullying efforts.
Totally. I think that we come from a place that's really solution-based, and that's also very unique to teens. We create our own words like teen esteem. So it's not something that your guidance counselor would say, and that's really important to us. And also, we're for teens by teens, and so the teens that make up We Stop Hate, we've all been bullied. We all can relate. We feature teens telling their stories, and I think that because we're young people creating this, it really makes us a unique program.
Well, one of the interesting things to me is that social media have extended bullying from my day when it was on the playground and in the school into cyberspace, which makes it really hard to escape. So it's kind of interesting that social media are the backbone of We Stop Hate.
Yeah.
Talk a bit about that and about the different elements of your program and how you make use of different social media.
Well, I love social media. I'm what I would call myself an internet kid. And I think that as a result, I really wanted to create an online program. And it ended up working out really well because we like to say that we live where teens live, and that's online. We started out by having young people make videos, which we spread the message through YouTube. And so within the first 8 months, We Stop Hate was ranked in the top 30 most subscribed of all time YouTube nonprofit channels. And that really goes to show that using social media to spread a message can be so effective. And so after we saw success with our videos, we branched out onto Tumblr, which is a blogging platform, and we created an initiative called Love Yourself, where young people write letters to themselves talking about anything about themselves which is positive. So the one rule is that you can't say anything negative about yourself. And you sign the letter love, comma, yourself. And what we do is we have a director, a team, who reads all the letters and chooses the letters to go up on the site. And then another team, Brandon, who you'll be speaking with, who designs the format of the letters. Because one of the things that's important to us at We Stop Hate is that we respect individual social media sites. And so each site kind of has their own feel and vibe. And so it's important to us that on Tumblr, we have like really inspirational images that look pretty. And then on YouTube, we have really powerful content. And then we also spread a lot of inspirational images on our Facebook page, which has become a really exciting place for me because I upload all the images, and to see how many shares we get, it's just crazy. There's this way on Facebook where we can see like the analytics, and we can see like how many people have shared an image and like how many people it's reached. And just last week, Brandon and I were looking on the analytics, and one of our posts had reached over 150,000 people, which is just like mind-blowing.
I looked at your YouTube channel. You have something like 18,000 subscribers and 900,000 views and 260 videos. That's pretty amazing.
We really put our heart and soul into this project, and so, I think the numbers reflect that.
One of your recent campaigns has been to get Facebook to add a bully button. Talk about that and how it's going.
We launched an initiative, what we call the Facebook Bully Button, which is at bullybutton.org. And what we believe is that cyberbullying is such a big issue, and we hear about that from teens in our community every day through our messages and emails. And when we learned that over 1 million kids are going to be cyberbullied just in 1 year, we really wanted to do something. And so the teens on the We Stop Hate team came together, and we thought that having a bully button would be a really effective way to help end cyberbullying on Facebook. And then since Facebook is the biggest social media site, hopefully other social media sites would follow suit. But the idea is that similar to a like button, a bully button would be visible on Facebook. And if someone was reported numerous times, Facebook would suspend their account for a certain amount of time. I know, like, for me, like, the thought of losing my Facebook page, even just for a day, is detrimental. And so hopefully it would be a good incentive for people to keep their comments really on a good note and not cyberbully. And so the campaign is going really well. We're using an app called Quans, where young people or anyone can vote about whether or not they think Facebook should have this button. And then once we get like as many votes as we can, we're planning on going to Facebook.
When I was researching your background, I was stunned at the amount of national recognition you've received. You've had a commendation from President Obama. 17 magazine named you a Body Peace Breakthrough winner. You were a winner of Nicholas Kristof's anti-bullying essay contest and mentioned in his New York Times column. You were interviewed by Forbes and named by Newsweek as one of its 150 fearless women in the world. And you've been a blogger for HuffPo. The biggest thrill had to be winning Nickelodeon's Halo Award, though, because I know it was presented to you by Lady Gaga, who says you, Emily-Anne, are her hero. Tell us about what had to be an amazing experience.
It certainly was. I mean, I have a thank you page on my website, and I thanked the Halo team for the biggest surprise of my life. Basically, when I look at all those honors, and I'm so thrilled and sort of in disbelief at all of them, but the Halo Award certainly takes the cake just because it was such a dream come true. I was interning at 17, and I knew that Nickelodeon was going to come and do a small segment on We Stop Hate. But as I was filming, Nick Cannon came in and was like, "You won a Halo Award!" And he came in as the male guy. And I couldn't believe it. I was the only person of the team selected who had watched the show before, so I knew what it was, and I couldn't believe that it was happening. And the whole experience was just so crazy. And I then, 2 weeks later, got to spend the day with Lady Gaga, who was amazing and really just went above and beyond to help We Stop Hate. Together we went to the MTV studios, and during her interview, she gave me the microphone and asked me to share what I was working on, which is just like, I don't even have words to describe it. It was incredible. And I was getting all these texts from people who were watching and were like, oh my gosh, I can't believe that that just happened. And I didn't even tell them to watch because I wasn't allowed to say anything about this. But people I knew were just watching because it's Lady Gaga and she's amazing. And then she went ahead and recorded a video for We Stop Hate, which now I think has about 100,000 views on our YouTube channel, and just really could not have been a more amazing person. I got to ride with her in the car for 30 minutes, and like, she didn't look at her phone or anything. Like, she just talked to me about her plans for anti-bullying and asked what I was doing. And then a few months later, she invited me to the launch of her Born This Way Foundation at Harvard. And so we've kept in touch, and it's just been such a crazy and amazing experience.
You know, you mentioned the video that she made for you, and I know that you use a lot of partnerships to get your message out. Other celebrities have recorded videos for you. Dan Savage, the founder of It Gets Better Project, made a video for you. You've partnered with Mattel's Monster High. Talk a little bit about the role of partnerships for your organization.
This really is a project that, one person can't do it alone. And so in the beginning, before we had the staff kind of wearing a lot of hats, and so I knew that, to spread our message, it was essential that people came together. And so not only did we have amazing teenagers who, were YouTube stars and just teenagers who wanted to help, but also some really wonderful corporations got involved. And for Mattel, which was an incredible partnership, their brand Monster High, the characters embrace what they call their freaky flaws, and that's exactly what we do at We Stop Hate. And so they have amazing loyal fan base, and so we got to record a video with them and just work together so strongly last year. And I think Monster High and all the other partnerships that we've done, it's really just helped us to get the message out, and that's our goal at We Stop Hate. So it's been amazing, and to see the support that we've got, it really helps me to believe that anyone who wants to make a difference, support will follow. You just have to start and do what you think is right and want to change in the world, and then things will fall into place.
Now, are you a nonprofit organization? How are you organized?
So we're actually a program under a 501c3 nonprofit. One of my mentors, Jeannie Demers, who runs Realize Arts and Education Incorporated, had a 501c3, and I was telling her about my vision for creating We Stop Hate and how we needed to have 501c3 status to become a YouTube nonprofit channel. And Jeannie so kindly offered that We Stop Hate to join Realize and work as a project under Realize. And that was 3 years ago, and now we still remain with Realize because it's been an incredible partnership. Basically what that means for us is that all the money donated to We Stop Hate, we don't have to pay the overhead costs of lawyers and things like that because we're under the umbrella of a 501c3. And just having Jeannie on board has been amazing because she's kind of like the adult who myself and the other members of the We Stop Hate team like to converse with about our ideas. And so it's worked out really well.
And how do you raise money for all your different activities?
We sell wristbands, and we've been selling wristbands since the day we started. The first thing I did, I asked my dad for $450 to buy We Stop Hate wristbands, before we even launched the channel, and it was really important to me to show that, I was willing to invest in this because I believed in it. And at that time, I had no idea if we would sell these wristbands, but the wristbands and now shirts have been an amazing source of revenue. We get orders every day from people all around the world who want to show their support through We Stop Hate by wearing a shirt or wearing a wristband. And I think our wristbands really unite the teens in our movement because we're all coming together and we're saying that we believe in this message of raising self-esteem as a way to combat bullying. And it's so exciting when I'll get text messages or an email saying from a young person who says, oh my gosh, I was on the school bus today and I saw someone in a wristband. And that, for me, I was I can't even believe it. It's incredible. And so selling our wristbands has been, for us, a wonderful source of revenue for We Stop Hate. And then also through the Halo Awards and our partnership with Mattel, we've also been able to generate some money.
Emily-Anne, you are so incredibly busy. I know that you speak in public, you're an online personality. We were talking the other day and you were going to yet another conference. You're a member of New York Wiki, as am I. You've held some great internships, and on top of all of that, you're a freshman studying for a career in communications at Barnard College. That's a pretty heavy load. I mean, it makes me tired just thinking about it. But We Stop Hate must take a lot of time. So how do you manage it all?
It definitely does take a lot of time. I like to say that it's kind of like a juggling act, and sometimes the balls fall, and I don't keep everything up in the air. But I think it's true that We Stop Hate takes sometimes like an obscene amount of time, but it's really the letters that I get from young people who talk about how We Stop Hate is changing their outlook on life that keeps me going, and that keeps me up an extra hour or 2 hours or 5 hours sometimes in the middle of the night. I think that because I love We Stop Hate, I don't think of it as a job. I think of it as something that I want to do and I want to serve. And so, I can find the time. It's definitely not easy, and there are times when my life is in a mess. But in the end, things always seem to come together. And now that I have a team of teens who help with We Stop Hate, it's really helped me personally with the process, because we're able to be not even as effective, but more effective than when it was just me running We Stop Hate. And yet, it's also, I can focus on being a full-time student and the other responsibilities that I have.
You founded We Stop Hate in 2010. You were 16, but now you're in college and you're not going to be a teen for too much longer. What do you see ahead for We Stop Hate and your involvement as the years go on?
That's a great question. It is scary. I mean, I kind of am Peter Pan right now, and I don't want to grow up. But I guess, one thing that I'm really looking forward to with We Stop Hate is we have an initiative to take our online program and create clubs in high schools. And right now we have one club, which is in West Virginia. It has 60 members, and it's doing incredible. And so I would like to see We Stop Hate going forward, in addition to continuing our social media strategy, also creating a curriculum so that more schools can have anti-bullying programs and have a safe space in that school where you can go and you can talk about your flaws and how you can learn to accept them, and just like create a haven really within high schools. And so right now I'm working with the director of the one club that we have currently to see how we can take her model and branch it out to other schools. So I do see in the future a wonderful initiative to create more clubs within high schools in America.
And you could go global with that.
Totally.
This whole experience of being a young DIY world improver has to have taught you quite a lot, and I would think it's affected what you plan to do with your career. Tell us a little bit about that.
I've always loved communications. I got into, quote-unquote, changing the world because I just wanted a radio show, and the only radio show that I was offered was an environmental radio show called Teens Going Green. And, I guess it's really shaped the way that I see my future, in the sense that I have to do something positive for this world, regardless of what I'm doing. I personally would love to work on daytime talk shows, but I think that's something that's more important to me now that I, have learned from my work with We Stop Hate, is that I want to work on a show that has a great mission to make people feel better about themselves, to empower the world. And so it really just makes me conscious of the fact that, whatever I'm doing, I want to be doing something that benefits others.
So we're going to be seeing the Emily-Anne show sometime in the future.
We'll see.
Well, thank you very much.
Oh, thank you so much. This was amazing.
I think you'll agree that there's only one way to describe Emily-Anne. Definitely and totally awesome. During the interview, she mentioned a member of the We Stop Hate teen team, Brandon Turley. I'll let Brandon introduce himself.
Well, I am 18 and a senior in high school, and I live in Portland, Oregon, and I am the technical liaison here at We Stop Hate.
When did you first get involved with We Stop Hate, and why?
I got involved with We Stop Hate in 2010, and basically I was being bullied a lot at school and just having a really hard time in life in general. And I was looking for an outlet and like a group of people that I could just talk to and get advice from.
Mm-hmm.
And I stumbled upon this wonderful channel called We Stop Hate with a bunch of people making videos telling advice on how to deal with problems that I was dealing with.
And so did you make a video?
Yeah, I emailed Emily-Anne, and I told her that, like, I loved what she was doing, and, like, I just really wanted to be involved, and it started out with me making a video, and it just kind of progressed from there.
How has being part of it affected your life?
It has been such an amazing opportunity. Like, I have been able to impact people from all around the world without even leaving my bedroom. Like, it's so amazing the impact that, like, social media can have, and I just really love what we're doing here.
Now, you said you're the technical liaison of what Emily-Anne calls her teen team. You're the guys who keep this movement going. What does being the technical liaison mean?
Technical liaison is kind of a term that I made up, and basically it means that I'm like all things tech here at We Stop Hate. Mm-hmm. So I designed the website, and I'm in charge of the graphics and photography and help out with like maintaining our social media sites like Facebook and Twitter. And so just kind of anything involving technical issues is where I'm at.
And it sounds like from my interview with Emily that part of your job is to make sure that everything you post reflects the vibe of whatever medium it happens to be.
Yeah, we always want to make sure that like we're keeping up with the We Stop Hate standard and trying to impact people's lives in just a picture on Facebook or a tweet.
But that it's appropriate to whether you're using Tumblr or Twitter or Facebook or YouTube so that it fits in with that channel.
Definitely. The different networks are so different in just the way that you present it. Like, you wouldn't post a YouTube video on your Facebook because you wouldn't expect a ton of people to watch it. Mm-hmm. And so it's just kind of like formatting everything to fit the audiences better.
Mm-hmm. You are part of sort of a virtual team. Do you know the other members? Where are they from?
I know that they're from like all over the United States. We have meetings every once in a while on Skype, and we get together and talk about ways to like improve We Stop Hate in different aspects. And so it's kind of amazing that we don't have to live in the same city, yet we can all be a part of the same space, a team.
Have you ever met any of the members of the team in person?
No, I haven't actually. I'm going to meet Emily-Anne soon. It's definitely a first, and it's kind of weird how like we're all working together and like connected, but we've never even met.
What have you learned from being part of We Stop Hate?
I've definitely learned that everyone can make a difference, no matter how big or how small your difference is. Every choice you make in life has a domino effect. And so just by being nice to one person or posting one status, it can affect people in so many different ways, and you aren't as small as you think you are in the world.
What are your plans for the future?
I definitely want to keep going with my work with We Stop Hate, and I want to work on expanding We Stop Hate just as a social media platform. Along with that, I plan on just going to college and studying photography or graphic design.
Obviously, there's a relationship between what you're doing for We Stop Hate and what you want to do professionally in the future. How much do you think your experience with We Stop Hate is going to have an impact on what you want to do with your career?
Oh, I think it'll impact it so much. We Stop Hate has already opened so many wonderful doors for me, and so it's amazing that I've gotten the opportunity to learn as much as I have at such a young age. Like, I've been able to design an entire website, and most people can't do that at 18, and so it's just been really wonderful and really helpful for, like, my future in general.
Do you have any advice for our listeners who may be teens?
Yeah, definitely keep going and keep trying to change the world, be the change that you want to see in the world, and remember that every single thing you do makes such a big impact on everybody around you.
Thank you for listening today. You can learn more about We Stop Hate at westophate.org, on Facebook, on YouTube, on Twitter. My advice, just Google it. You can learn more about New York Women in Communications Foundation and its programs at nywici.org. And, as always, you'll find this and all past editions of DIY World Improvement on the show's YouTube channel.
Made fun of for my weight. And so as a result, I thought, it would be better, and my parents thought so too, if I were to go to a school where people didn't have preconceived notions about who I was. So I switched schools, and throughout middle school and high school, my self-confidence gradually increased as I made friends, and I really honed in my sense of self-worth, which I had really lost when I was being bullied.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I was 16, I was a really active member of the YouTube community, and I thought it would be fun to not only make the comedy videos that my friends and I were making, but also create a channel where we could spread a positive message. And because I was bullied, anti-bullying was a cause that was really dear to my heart, and I also was really passionate about spreading self-esteem because
Foundation scholarship recipients. As a group, they're very outwardly focused and involved in their communities. But some go even farther, founding nonprofit organizations while they're still in high school or college. Two of those, Tammy Tibbetts, founder of She's the First, and Elizabeth Stoltz, founder of Food for Thought, were my guests on this show in the first season. Today, I add a third, Emily-Anne Rigal, who has just been awarded one of this year's scholarships. Like so many kids, Emily-Anne was a victim of bullying. Such youthful cruelty is nothing new, but the advent of social media has given it a new venue and a new impact. High-profile cases that ended in suicide have raised alarms all the way to the White House, which held its first conference on bullying prevention in 2011. Enough new books on the subject are written each year to fill a community's worth. Good morning. You're listening to a new edition of DIY World Improvement. I'm your host, Catherine Carlozzi. Today's guest takes me back to the origins of this show. My reason for wanting to be involved with WBCR was to spend more time on the Bloomfield College campus with the communication students I informally mentor here. I'm a longtime board member of the New York Women in Communications Foundation, and mentoring is one of our core activities. Many of the students involved with this station, including my studio engineer, Perla Peralta, are members of New York Wiki. Scholarships are another of our core activities. Once I decided to do the show, the inspiration for focusing on DIY World Improvers came from some of the school libraries. When she reached 16, Emily-Anne decided to use her not inconsiderable social media skills to combat bullying. To that end, she started something called We Stop Hate. As so many things do on the internet, it went viral, taking Emily-Anne on quite a ride along the way. She's now a freshman at Barnard College at Columbia University in New York City. I caught up with her during spring break. Welcome to DIY World Improvement.
Thank you so much.
Tell me what it was about your personal experience that led you to create We Stop Hate.
Well, I was bullied in elementary school to the point where I was forced to switch schools because I was basically ostracized by my classmates, and no one wanted to be my friend. I was overweight significantly when I was younger, and I got something that, once I had good self-esteem, my whole world changed. So as a result, We Stop Hate was created because we raised self-esteem as a way to combat bullying, believing that if you're happy with yourself, you're a lot less likely to put others down.
And is that one of the things that makes We Stop Hate different from other anti-bullying efforts? Because there are a lot of other anti-bullying efforts.
Totally. I think that we come from a place that's really solution-based, and that's also very unique to teens. We create our own words like teen esteem. So it's not something that your guidance counselor would say, and that's really important to us. And also, we're for teens by teens, and so the teens that make up We Stop Hate, we've all been bullied. We all can relate. We feature teens